Thankfully, due to our strong financial management, some of the best financial results of any jurisdiction in the world, my government is in a position to support our WA businesses through these uncertain times, as we promised. So today, I'm proud to announce our Level 1 COVID-19 Business Assistance Package, an additional $67 million in business support for those affected by COVID-19. 8 programs to support businesses subject to Level 1 public health and social measures announced last week, to assist eligible small businesses that are adversely affected by capacity constraints and suffer a downturn in revenue with cash flow and financial relief. The new package includes $42 million tenant rent relief scheme, providing grants of $3,000 to eligible, subject to some criteria, small business tenants. $10.7 million landlord rent relief incentive supporting eligible landlords with $1,500 who voluntarily match the government's tenant rent relief payments. $5 million alfresco support program to reimburse small businesses in the hospitality sector with up to $5,000 for eligible costs associated with creating and expanding an alfresco area to meet the requirements of public health social measures. $3.5 million waiver of licensing fees, including liquor licensing fees for eligible businesses in 2022. Further millions to support government tenants, small business tenants in government leased by government, with grants of up to $6,000. $1.8 million nightclub assistance program, with payments of up to $50,000 for eligible nightclubs dealing with strict attendance caps. And the $1.3 million Performing Arts, Theatres and Cinemas Assistance Program, providing payments of up to $50,000 to provide cash flow assistance to a range of larger indoor entertainment venues that are particularly affected by capacity constraints. So if the Luna experiences a downturn in revenue as a result of the ongoing public health and social measures subject to the criteria, they'd be able to apply for assistance of up to $50,000, and other cinemas as well. In the assistance program and in assistance and fee relief. Across the economy, it's going to provide much needed support to the businesses that experience the uncertainty and downturns from COVID, helping with cash flow, helping with fee relief. This package takes the total financial support committed by government to businesses, especially small businesses, throughout the pandemic to $1.6 billion. And as you know, the total support provided by government, the state government, is now $10 billion across the community. More than $350 million of this has been committed since December to support our safe transition plan for business. We've seen what's happened over East from COVID. Even without restrictions, customers stayed home, staff had to isolate, East Coast hospitality and other venues suffered, and no level of freedom from restrictions helped. At the other end of the spectrum, South Australia had a 7 square metre rule, that is 1 person per 7 square metre rule, on certain venues. What we're trying to do is get the balance right, slow the spread and keep the community confident to go out and about. At the same time, we're proud to provide some support to local businesses during these difficult times. The road ahead is going to be bumpy for people and businesses right across WA. That's undeniable and unfortunately unavoidable. But what everyone should have confidence in is WA is as best prepared as possible, even in the face of the Omicron virus. Globally high vaccination rates, we have globally high vaccination rates, the right policies in place, necessary support for business, and if we all stick together and do the right thing, we'll be in the best possible position. Are there any questions? Well, the assessment we did with Treasury was the best thing we could do was provide support in relation to rent. So we had a look at what goes on. So a lot of your small business tenants have suffered a loss of, will suffer a loss of revenue, and so therefore providing direct support to them in terms of their, just basically grants to them was the best way we could support them through this difficult period. The criteria are basically, it's if you compare your cash flow for a 6-week period between the 1st of January and 30th of April, with the cash flow for another six-week period in that period last year. If you've suffered a decline in revenue of over 30%, well, you're eligible. So that means the relief is up to $3,000. It's $6,000 for government tenants, so we're setting the right example. If a landlord wants to match what the state government's doing, they'll get $1,500 from the state government. So in effect, small businesses can receive $6,000 if eligible over this period. So we tried to structure it right. We don't want to give it to businesses that might be doing better, and some businesses actually do over these periods, but we want to make sure it's directed to those businesses that most need it. So it's a targeted assistance scheme on the back of all the other assistance schemes we've done to support businesses around WA.